Guys, today, as you can see behind me, I have selected a couple of brain rots, mostly secrets, including one epic. And at first glance, it looks like there are no similarities between these brain rots, other than the fact that they're mostly all secret. But the reason I picked these brain rots is that I actually have some images of what these brain rots look like in different countries. So I'm gonna go over here first. I'm gonna start with the Calamarini Goofo, which is an epic. We'll start because he is obviously the cheapest one out of all of them. So as you can see, he's like an owl guy. He's a avocado, but an owl. But we're actually going to go to the country USA. We're going to America because in a state in America, in Georgia, that's where you can find peaches. And that's exactly what we have here. We have Peachini Goofo. Instead of an avocado, it is a peach. And that's because the avocado pit could easily be turned into a peach pit. And then obviously instead of green, he is like a peach color with a little bit of like peach skin on the outside. He makes $600 a second, which is over double the Calamarini Goofo. But honestly, we are only getting started because it is going to get crazier as the video goes on. So make sure you stay tuned to the end because we have some really good brain rots coming up. Now over here, you'll also see we have Tung 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 Sahur. This is not the second most cheapest one. That one's actually, I think, the Gripus or the Job Sahur. But we will start with the Tung 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 Sahur here. And now for this one, we're actually going to fly overseas. We are going to go to the United Kingdom, specifically London, outside of the palace, which is where you'll find Tung Tung Sahur. Or should I say Guard Sahur? Because as you can see, Tung 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 Sahur has been turned into a royal guard who stands outside of the British royal palace. He is a secret and he makes $3 million a second, which is, again, basically double. I think that is exactly double the Tung 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 Sahur. As you can see, he's got his like uniform here and his hat. He has changed a little bit. Like the baseball bat is so much different for some reason. And he's holding it in his other hand. I don't know why. But honestly, I like Guard Sahur. I guess we could have called him Guard Sahur, but it's just so much easier to say Guard Sahur. But actually, I think I like this one better than Peachini Goofo because it's just like, obviously it makes more money. It's a secret and it just looks sick. And like, obviously Tung 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 Sahur was gone for so long, and now we have Guard Sahur. And now we have another Sahur here. We have Job Sahur. Honestly, they are so alike. Like the baseball bat is so perfect. I love that all the Sahurs have the baseball bat. I think for Job Sahur, we are going to fly to Mexico or Spain, honestly anywhere that Spanish is spoken, because we have Trab Sahur. That's right. Instead of job, it says trabajo. Honestly, so fire. This is such a good version. Like, I actually love this. It's so simple because it's literally just the name change. Like, everything else is exactly the same, but trabajo as a word, like the first part of it sounds exactly like job. So it's just Trab Sahur. Now, obviously, he makes less than Tung 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 Sahur and especially Guard Sahur. And again, you could find him in like Mexico or Spanish or Portugal or anywhere that they speak Spanish. Next up, we have Swag Soda, who honestly is such a sick brain rot. It makes me sad that people don't talk about Swag Soda more. I mean, he's a secret and he makes 13 million a second. He does cost a lot at 1.8 billion. That is actually insane, but he has such a sick design and the particle effects are so cool. But honestly, there's not a lot of places that have like crazy sodas except for Japan. So we are going to be going to Japan to find Swag Soda, but instead of Swag Soda, we have Swag Ramune or Ramune. I actually don't know how to say it, but it's the Japanese soda that you pop open at the top. And honestly, it's just so perfect. Like, this is probably the best brain rot from a different country, I'm not gonna lie. Especially because I already like Swag Soda, but making it Swag Ramune instead is so fire. He's a secret just like Swag Soda, and he makes 26 million a second, which is double the Swag Soda. Again, guys, I think this one might actually legitimately be my favorite. It's just so sick. Like, how can you not like, I want this. I want this in the regular steel of brain rot. Then next up, we have an absolute classic. We have Gripus Medusi. This is like one of the first big secrets ever. Like, this was the first one to go over $1 million a second. So fire. Honestly, such an OG brain rot. Like, this needs so much more love. I know it doesn't make as much money as some of these other ones now, but honestly, such an OG. But I honestly thought, since it's Italian brain rot, what could possibly happen to a Gripus Medusi? Obviously, he's a squid or like an octopus. I'm not really sure, but like, what could happen to him? Well, if we're Italian Brainrot, in Italy, they make calamari. So we have Calamarini here. It's actually 5 Grypus Medusis deep fried on a plate. Honestly, if you guys have ever had calamari before, it's so fun. But like, honestly, I would never be able to eat Calamarini. Like, look at his eyes. He's so cute, bro. I would never be able to do that. But honestly, I love this because they come on a plate too. As you can see, it is a secret and it makes 5 million a second, which is 5x the 1 million a second. And that is because there are 5 Grypus Medusis on this plate. Obviously, they're a little bit smaller than the actual Grypus Medusi, but honestly, it makes sense that it would be 5 million a second because there are 5 of them on there. It would be so sick if there was also a trait in this version where you could have multiple extra Grypus Medusis and it would just add 1 million per second every time you added one on. Now, we also have one of my favorites right here, Money Money Puggy. Okay, this is actually, he's so cute. Like, how could you not love Money Money Puggy, especially like Los Puggies? Like, both of these guys are so cute. But as you can see on the front of Money Money Puggy, there are a bunch of dollar bills, which are green. So I assume those are American US dollars, and you can see the particle effects. I'm pretty sure those are American dollars. So obviously, what are we going to do? Well, we're going to fly over to Canada, and there you will find Cad Cad Puggy, or CAD Puggy. That's Canadian dollars. As you can see, the money on Money Money Puggy, except for his ears. I don't know why his ears are still green. I guess there's green Canadian money. But for the most part, he has changed into Canadian money, and he still has like the dollar bill wrappers and stuff like that. That is so fire. I love this one. Honestly, he looks even a little bit cuter. I like the red more than the green, I think. This is just so good. And obviously, he is insane. $42 million a second. I mean, that's really good for a secret. I'm not gonna lie. Like, that's actually insane. That is double the original Money Money Puggy. I can't help but like love this one. Like, I actually think this might be my favorite. Again, guys, at the end of this video, we're gonna rank all of them. So stay tuned for that. Let me know in the comments what your favorite one has been so far. And last but not least, before the rankings, as you can see, we have 6, 7, one of the GOATs. Like, I mean, how can you not love that animation, everything? Like, it's just so fire. But in order to find an alternate country version of 6, 7, we are going to head over to China, where we have the Chinese numbers 4, 6, and 7. It's basically just the same Brainrot, but it's Chinese numbers instead. And as you can see, the name is actually changed to Chinese. And this actually stands for 67. And then this stands for secret here. And then as you can see, we actually have it not in American dollars, but in Chinese yen. And that's 55 million a second. That is OP, guys. That is so sick. I actually love this one. This one could potentially be my favorite just because of how much it looks like the original 6, 7, but it's completely different. All right, as you can see here, we have our Brainrots, and then we have a couple of tiers set up. So this is how we're going to rank them. We'll start with the 6, 7, but we could potentially move things around if we think it could be better. I'm not going to lie. We just finished the 6, 7, so it might be kind of biased. I think 6, 7 is S tier. I literally do. I'm not going to lie. I think that could potentially be the best one, but oh wait, I totally forgot. The second one here, no, this is easily the best one. Are you kidding me? Swag Ramune is number 1 with 6, 7 close behind. Now we have Guard Sahur, which is cool, and I think it is really unique, but I'm not going to lie. I think it's kind of like B tier. I know Tong 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 Sahur is like super sick and it was gone for so long, and now we potentially have another country version of it, but it's just not like the coolest thing ever. Now, Peachini Goofo is cool, and I like peaches, and obviously, like, I'm from America, so that's pretty cool, but I'm not gonna lie, this is the worst one. That's D tier. Like, that is absolutely the worst one. I do like Trab Sahur, but really not much has changed, but a little bit more than the peach, so I'm gonna put that at C tier, but potentially D tier above Peachini Goofo. Now we have Cad Puggy, which is so good, and it is so cool, and so cute, but I think it's A tier. I think it's below 6, 7, I'm not gonna lie. Oh, we have Calamarini, though. Oh, Calamarini is actually goated. It looks so good, and it looks so real. That might be better than Cad Cad Puggy. Oh my gosh, wait. Okay, I think this is accurate. I'm not gonna lie. I think nothing's really C tier. Maybe I would move these guys up. I don't think anything's really D tier. Like, they're all really cool. I would honestly maybe even swap these. I'm not gonna lie. I know I said I love 6, 7, and I really do, but I think Calamarini is better. Swag Ramune is easily the best, though. But I think this is my official ratings, guys. Let me know if you guys agree with my rankings, and don't forget to subscribe.